seen the dude at the AMC with like he made his own homemade worm?
Dude!
And he's riding it around?
He's riding it around the lobby.
So cool.
So sick.
Just put that thing on Etsy. So
It's just been good to see people back in theaters. What's up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome back to another episode of the What the Fanboy Show. This week we are reviewing Dune Part 2. And I think we were talking about some of the awesome kind of costumes and cosplay that people have had out at the theaters.
People used to dress up for movies.
Dude, remember like Lord of the Rings? Good times.
I was 11.
Oh. Young blood.
I was 13 when Return of the King came out. That was the only one I saw in theaters.
That and Star Wars. And now
what
Dune.
an epic way to finish that series for the first time. I'm going to watch the third one in theaters.
It was horrible though, trying to as a child with a child bladder. Couldn't make it.
It's the worst.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had to leave.
Make movies shorter?
Sprinting. No, make movies longer, honestly.
I think movies have intermissions.
I think we all support the intermission to come back.
I'm a big fan of that idea.
If you need it, just use it.
Yeah.
I honestly don't. I stand by this 100%. I don't think anybody would complain that they're allowed a bathroom break.
No. Baroque says make bladders bigger.
Oh,
that is another solution.
I have a bladder of absolute steel now.
I don't know if that's always a good thing, but it's good.
Well, I never use the bathroom during movies, a first showing. It was Return of the King. The next movie I had to use it was The Flash. You remember?
Oh, yeah.
And the only reason, and this is my thought, the only reason I think I actually had to was because we are the Warren 21 and it's reclined seats. I wasn't in my normal posture, so my bladder wasn't, pinched off.
We both had to go during that one.
Yeah. Dude, it was bad. I remember just running.
Oh, over in the chat, Easton is anti-intermission for movies. Come on, Easton.
Thanks for stopping by, but you can leave.
We will now be having an intermission. We'll be back in 15 minutes.
Yeah. We'll hit an intermission right before our review.
Oh. Well, before we get to our review, any new trailers this week, guys? We see anything?
I wrote down 2.
What dropped?
I wrote down those 2.
I did watch that one, actually.
Which one?
The first one.
Oh, so the first one I wrote down is The Watchers.
Yeah.
This is directed by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, who is named Ishana Night Shyamalan. This is, I don't know, it doesn't, to me, look just like an M. Night Shyamalan movie, but you can definitely feel it.
Yeah. There's influence there.
It's got a good cast, though, for a directorial debut. Mm-hmm. I think, my hope for it is that it has its own thing. I feel like it would be very easy for her to just follow in her dad's footsteps.
They're all dead. They're all dead.
Yeah, right? I feel like it's just so easy, to just do what your dad's done and been successful at for so long. Always divisive, but people watch it, and it finds its audience all the time, right? And so, hopefully this has a little something to it. We shall see.
It reminded me of my zoo thing. Do you remember the...
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dude, I might be a little upset if that's the idea.
Yeah.
Not that mine would ever be made. But it's gosh darn it, I had that idea too.
You had an idea. Now you just gotta figure out how to execute on those ideas.
They hacked my Google Doc.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit, and this is where I think the similarities with M. Night is. I feel like it will have a similar twist to The Village. But it's a sideways thumb for me. It's not an immediate no, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious.
I'll give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'd like to see some reviews, I think. Not necessarily reading them, but just general feel.
Sure.
Maybe social media reactions would make me be okay, I'm into this.
Bro,
After
you
this
gotta
weekend,
see this movie.
I'm not sure I trust social media reactions.
I don't think I ever have trusted.
That's okay. The Watchers isn't going to open up Dune Part 2. So.
Well, I mean the early social media, the pre-embargo social
critic
media.
reviews.
Yeah. Not general audience reviews. No.
Fair enough.
And then the other trailer I wrote down is I saw the TV glow.
Big thumbs up for me.
Big thumbs up for me as well.
This looks creepy AF.
This looks like traditional classic A24.
Mm-hmm.
Just let's get as weird as we can possibly get and just see what sticks.
Yeah.
Justice Smith is the lead, it looks like.
Yep.
And it looks like he's occupying multiple characters in some form or fashion.
I can't
as well
tell.
as living in multiple timelines and
it
being
is
aware of them.
Multiverse is back. I
don't think it's a multiverse as much as it is like a there's
timelines.
There's a TV world and a real world, and somehow those two things are connected.
Sounds like multiverse to me.
Kind of.
Real verse and TV verse.
Well, everything's a multiverse if you think about it, but yeah. No, I think this looks great. I think it looks like they're investing a lot into their soundtrack. They're really pimping that in the marketing. But also it just looks different. It looks unique. It looks like nothing I've seen before.
Yeah, it's...
And I'm always here for something like that. So.
Agreed. It's nice to bring back... And not that there haven't been movies in the last year. I like Lisa Frankenstein, which I talked about a couple weeks ago. Like, big... I mean, not big story, but it's like it's bright and bold and full of color, and I feel like we've gotten a lot more of the, like, especially A24 and the smaller indies have the pendulum has kind of swung to the more desaturated and grays and muted tones and drama.
Maybe now we're pulling the other way.
This just feels nice, like a nice refreshing glass of water over here of like, ooh, creepy, scary, lots of color and fun and chaos.
Yep.
So, big thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up for me. I'm excited for this, and I also like Justice Smith.
Yeah.
You know, I do think
underrated.
he has like probably one of the most fun catalogs. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's done Dungeons and Dragons. He's done Pokemon. He's doing whatever this is. He's done Jurassic World.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's done some really cool stuff. Like, this looks a little more drama driven for him, and I'm very curious how he'll do. But I mean, he's one of those actors you see his catalog and you're like, man, that guy's just having a blast.
Yeah.
Like, he's just signing up for whatever sounds fun to him, and I think that's great.
Getting it, right?
Or has a great agent.
That too, yeah. But I will say, like, his performance is never a low light in anything I've seen him in.
Yeah, it's not like we're talking about how good the movie is except for Justice
Smith's right.
performance.
Like, he adds to it. No, it's awesome. Those are the only two I had. Did you have another one?
I watched two when I was just sitting here. I watched the Garfield trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was out.
Yeah, I think it came out today.
Okay.
I don't know. It looks like it could have some fun moments. But
Illumination's on a bit of a tear right now, so...
Yeah, are they the new Pixar? No.
I mean, I think they've made more money than Pixar in the last...
Yeah, probably.
Well, it's because Pixar releases all of their
4
good
years.
movies on Disney Plus.
Also true.
Just releases their bad ones in theaters.
Come on, Bob!
I thought he retired again.
I don't know.
Did he?
Well, Bob Iger retired, then he came back, then he retired again, and it was Bob Chapek, and I guess he sucked, and Iger came
Iger's
back.
back
Iger's
again,
back, yes. Iger's been back for
Just find the third Bob.
2 years.
Has it been
year
that
and a
long?
half?
I was going to say about a year, maybe.
Maybe a year and a half, something like that. I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe Pixar needs to get sold.
Well, it's probably been a year and a half.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
So,
Yeah.
And what was the other one you watched? Garfield and what?
The Strangers prequel.
Oh, I saw this and I did not watch it. I was like, I'm not watching that trailer.
the first one of the original, I think there's like 3 Strangers movies. The first one came out when I was in college, like my freshman year of
Genuine
college.
question. What can you do different?
I don't know.
It's just home invasion.
Yeah.
I never saw the first one.
The first one was laughably predictable. Like, me as a freshman in college was calling everything happening exactly when it was happening.
Welcome to slasher movies, baby. Yeah.
But like, it was, I don't know.
Dude, there's something in this trailer. It's just like, yeah. There's, at the very end of the trailer, the dude is holding a shotgun at one of the people, and they're going, oh! It's like, it's his wife.
Love it.
Okay. Anyway, I have seen 0 of the Strangers movies. I know I'm notorious for not watching horror and slashers.
Yeah.
So, It's 2 right there.
Yeah,
That's
two
just
strikes.
like that's 2 strikes.
Yeah, Easton in the chat says First Strangers is fine.
Yeah.
I've heard it's okay.
And unnecessary prequel. 3 strikes, you're out.
Isn't the
Oh,
first
wow.
one supposed to be based in like on a true story of some
think
home
so.
invasion killings or
Yeah.
something like that? I don't know. I never watched it.
It was
saw,
never that scary to me.
I
But
saw the people with the pillowcases over their head, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm probably gonna pass on
no
this."
thanks.
I don't.
You change the music, and it's just like an episode of Monk or something. Like,
Is it related to Strangers on a Train? I don't think so.
Might be more interesting that way.
Ooh. Yeah. Pillowcases on a Train.
is it related to The Girl on the Train, the Emily Blunt movie? Because
Ooh.
now we're talking.
And now Luke's in.
Actually, I never saw that movie. I heard it was so bad.
Oh my goodness.
It'd
All
be
right.
like that
And that was
sometimes.
right after Gone Girl, too. So everybody
It
was like,
was.
Julian Flynn, oh my gosh. And that came out, and everybody's like, okay, yeah, never mind.
we're back. We're off. And then Sharp Objects came out, and everybody's like, "Okay, we're
Julian Flynn!
We're kind of back in." And then there was a Dark Places movie, and everybody was like, "Oh." And now there's a Dark Places show, I guess, in the works.
Oh.
Yeah, miniseries at Max HBO.
Okay.
I don't even know what it's called.
Warner
anymore.
Brothers Discovery.
HBO.
Yeah, sure. HBO.
Warner Brothers Discovery. We hate movies.
We
There, I just came up with their new market.
We just like movies we can make money off of. So if we won't make any money off of it, we will burn it for money. Because it's.
did you see somebody leaked the entire Acme movie?
They did?
Yeah. not the movie. They leaked like the entire like this is everything that happens in this movie.
Oh.
And like explains what everybody's doing and what each character is.
I'm not reading that.
I
I'm waiting for
read
someone
it,
to
I
leak
wanna
the
watch
actual
it.
movie so
I
I can
didn't
watch it.
I didn't read it. I read like the first line and I was like, yeah, this is way too long. It's like 8 screenshots. It's like, yeah, I don't feel like reading this.
I'm fine.
Wish they'd leaked the script though. That'd be.
It
kinda
only
fun.
needs to be online
watched
for a couple
I read
minutes.
the
People
script.
will
Yeah,
download it,
People will get
Oh
it.
yeah.
and then it's ours forever. Look at us just like supporting piracy.
Somebody's gonna do it.
If it's for the greater good. Ooh, classic villain line.
Hey, look. If Disney taught me anything, it's that even a pirate can be a hero.
That's
Captain Jack,
that is true.
Elizabeth Turner.
This is the weird second Pirates of the Caribbean thing that's happened to me this week. I was listening to
Treasure Planet, kid.
Treasure Planet.
I was listening to a podcast called Baseball is Dead.
Jim Hawkins there.
It's a baseball podcast. Anyways, they were talking about the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh.
And I guess their bit, I had never heard them talk about the Pirates because the Pirates suck so bad. But I guess their bit is anytime they talk about the Pirates, they play the Pirates of the Caribbean theme song in the background the whole time. And I was like, this is bizarre. And it went on for like 5 minutes. I was like, this is crazy. Turn it off.
I love it.
I'm
going
gonna
to
go on a tangent here, and I need you to not judge me for my naivete.
Absolutely not.
I'm probably
Are all the
gonna-
Pittsburgh teams black and yellow?
Yes.
Steelers, Penguins,
Pirates.
Pirates?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Makes it so easy to just be a fan of a team.
All of
like,
the
wearing a
Washington-
black and yellow
That
shirt.
is.
All
What
of
team
the-
do you like?
Thought
All of
about
them.
that.
So all of
Good
the
synergy.
Washington teams in the nation's, like in DC, are red, white, and blue as well. The only one that's not is the Commanders because they're not in DC. They're in Maryland. So
Idiots, man.
Come on,
And
Commanders.
they went maroon and burnt gold.
burgundy and gold.
Eh.
The new color is like maroon. It's
Same
kind of weird.
difference. Are they changing things up again?
We'll see. Not this year.
Oh my
Hey.
gosh.
But you chose right with your guys' colors because the Chiefs look like they're straight out of a McDonald's. The Chiefs' colors are Ronald McDonald straight up.
If you
I'm a
wore,
big
You're not
supporter of the
wrong.
Chiefs, but
You're
man,
not
the
wrong.
goofy colors, man, they're terrible.
you should get a Ronald McDonald costume to wear to games.
You could be the new Wolf Man.
No, don't be that guy.
I'm gonna become the biggest fan.
And then you start
I'm gonna
robbing
start
banks.
robbing banks.
I'm so ready for that documentary. to
I'm
come
still
out.
hiring that lawyer though.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, what a
That-
great.
I watched
Oh,
that video like 6 times before I sent it to you guys, and I was like, "This has to be
I
fake."
I could barely get through
It's,
it.
It's
it's
so
amazing.
bad.
It's so bad.
Oh man,
He took a knee
I
for justice. It's like,
My-
oh,
my favorite thing is like the comments where somebody was like, "Yeah, this dude's going away for life."
Dude, do you think like he in his contract with his lawyer, he's like,
Football lines.
if you do this, I will give you $1,000 more of my stolen money. And he's just like, gosh dang it, I really need this money.
I could really use it actually.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Baroque, I might be in the minority, but I really liked the Washington football team. I also liked the Washington football team. That being said, I don't think you're in the minority. It's really interesting. When I went up there shortly after they changed it to Commanders, I was walking through DC and somebody walked up to me and they were like, "Hey, do you actually like the Commanders name?" And I was like, "I don't hate it." And they're like, "I just like football team." And I was like, 2 years ago, did you like football team when they announced it? And he was like, "Well, no." I'm like, "Okay, so in 2 years, will you care that it's Commanders?" He's like, "Probably not." I'm like, "Exactly. It's the same team. You're rooting for the same team."
Here's my defense of any team name ever, except for like the racist ones, Redskins. The New York Knickerbockers. They're a style of pants. That's their team name.
The Clippers are a yacht.
Like, that sounds cool. Like,
I love to.
Pants from the 1920s.
Yeah. I loved how many people learned what the Clippers was when they changed their
New
logo.
logo. Yeah. Plus,
so
like,
good.
it makes sense for LA. Like, rich people are
Yeah.
in LA with their fancy yachts doing drugs and stuff.
Whatever it
Jordan
is.
Belfort.
Whatever it is, fancy yacht owners do. But Baroque, I also like the football team. I actually have some Washington football team merch.
I almost bought a shirt.
Just to have it.
Just to have it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I have some. Sorry, we're down a rabbit hole at this point.
It's fine.
It's fun. I love it. But yes, the Pittsburgh teams are all the same colors.
Super cool.
And now I'm trying to think
Smart.
if there's any other
Smart branding.
cities, areas that do that.
All the teams in Houston are space except for the Texans, and they really blew it.
Yeah.
Rockets,
Yeah.
Cosmos, Astros, Texans. I was like, ah, what are you doing?
I think, I don't know, we can get into that off the podcast, but I think it had something to do with Jerry Jones because he helped, I think, launch the expansion team. And the Texans used to be in Dallas.
Yep.
And so
They moved to KC.
Yeah, that's the Chiefs team.
Everybody moves around. Just like how Arrakis gets a new house to rule it No, I don't know.
Good try.
I really was struggling to try and connect.
Easton,
but
the
are
Cowboys are in Dallas.
Here
We were talking about Houston.
we are here to talk about Dune Part 2.
We are.
Can we review that?
Sure.
No.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about
Can we
it.
talk about it? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, it's a movie.
All right, it's a movie that came out. Did really well this weekend.
Made a lot of money.
Dude, this was music to my ears.
Yeah.
That it did so well.
Yeah, that made some money.
Sci-fi movies that make money. Good for the business.
I need Dune Messiah to be made. And then I need all the producers to be like, Denny, come on. We need you, buddy. We need you. We need you.
Apparently, he has some secret project that he's doing next.
Yeah, which I think is fine. I think
Nolan took breaks in between every Batman movie.
Yeah. We can, and we'll get to kind of where Dune Part 2 ends here at the end of our review, but I do think that there's potentially a good reason for a potential time jump in between Dune and Messiah. So, but yeah, what did you guys think of Dune Part 2?
Hold on, let me bring up my letterbox. I'll just read that because I can never actually remember my thoughts.
I'll let Luke go first.
Oh,
It looks like in the chat, Easton goes, "We all hated it, right?" Easton, I know for a fact you didn't hate it, so shut your mouth. And Baroque says, "Dune Part Mid." Interesting take. I won't say you're wrong, but I will disagree with you.
Is it mid because it's the middle of the story?
I guess that's true. It is the middle of the story.
Anyways.
It's the middle of Paul's story.
Right. Luke, go ahead.
What is your letterbox?
What I wrote was Villeneuve proves to me every time he's the best at making movies. Dune Part 2 is incredible, and even with high expectations, I am blown away.
Okay, like it, love it. I didn't write anything down. I've kind of purposely tried to be coy about it. I've had a lot of people text me and be like, "How is it? How is it?" And I'm like, "It's really good, man. Like, I don't want to dive into that. I want you to watch it and make your own opinion." But for me, and like this is, I don't know. Some people are gonna say this is crazy, whatever. But I've not felt the way I did at the end of this movie since finishing Return of the King for the first time. Where I felt like I've gone on this epic journey with these characters and I've just reached a really interesting final point.
Yeah.
Assuming until Messiah's being marketed, this is the end of it for me, right? So like that's how I'm going to view it. So yeah, man, I loved it. I think it's great.
Yeah. I didn't write anything down either, but I guess over on my letterbox, it's a 5 out of 5. I think that it is everything that sci-fi movies should be.
Awesome.
It's epic in nature. It tackles complicated and complex social systems. It has fantastic acting and interesting characters that, change in ways that are unexpected. And I just think that there's so many sci-fi, heck, just movies that play it safe these days. That to take Paul and the, kind of the Atreides storyline in the direction. And granted, it's based on the book, right? Like in the book, it more or less ends up in Paul at least ends up in a similar place, right? So like it was already there, but they didn't sugarcoat it. I don't think
They spice coated it.
They coated it in spice. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's excellent. And if we never get a Messiah, I'll be bummed. But ultimately, I still think that this is an incredibly satisfying pair of films.
Yeah, and I think here's the other part of this will be the probably more hotter take of this. I don't think anybody should do this again. For a very long time, Dune was considered unadaptable.
Yeah.
And there's been many attempts. None of them have been very well received. They've become kind of laugh films that people watch just to laugh
and
at,
in different
right?
mediums, too. I think there's a miniseries.
Yeah, there's
in
a
the
show
early
that
2000s.
Frank Herbert did at one point, too. There was a Sci-Fi Channel original miniseries. Yeah, but Denny, I feel like, has done such a good job with this. And he's brought it to an audience that I don't think would have ever gotten it. No, a lot of people wouldn't have read Dune.
It's
big. It's a lot.
It is so sci-fi in nature and yet approachable for a general audience. You don't have to I can't pronounce half of the names in this movie, but I know who everyone is.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of Denis' storytelling.
Yeah.
And how he introduces how he does character work and how he does dialogue and how he shows people on the screen. There's a reason, yes, Darth Vader is an easy name to remember, but he's iconic for his look, right? And so in Dune, and especially in Dune Part 2, I think we see the kind of evolution of these characters, the Harkonnens and some of the Fremen, and these groups that we're familiar with because so much of sci-fi is actually based off of Dune.
Yep.
It's not Dune stealing from other sci-fi. It's other properties have borrowed and used Dune as an influence. But bring in fantastic actors who can embody these mythical characters, and they all just do a great job.
What are they saying?
So
read it to me.
Easton was just kind of commenting on what I was saying about I don't think anybody should make this again. He was after David Lynch botched it. Yeah, I just think I don't know. I think Denny's successfully done it. Let's step away from it for a while.
Sure.
finish if we finish Messiah, we do Messiah, we do whatever little things we do, like sure, but like this adaptation is, in my opinion, as good as it's gonna get.
Yep.
I don't see it being better. I don't see and obviously we don't know jack whatsoever from 40 years from now who comes out and is like, I'm gonna do Dune again. Sure, but as it stands right now, when Denny's done with it, it should be put to rest for a long time.
Yeah.
And
I guess kind of Messiah would be great, but also there's a show that's
there
coming
is a
out,
show, yeah.
and that is kind of a gap filler, but also it's a explainer for.
I'm very
I don't
curious
want to say
how that does, right? Like, because it's the Bene Gesserit show,
Yeah.
and I just don't know of what kind of mass market appeal that has. My guess is it'll be very good, if it's being produced by the same people who are producing these films.
Mm-hmm.
They have
So
a
we
level. They
hope.
have a level of quality, right? That now they have that bar,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like DC does a good job. I'm thinking of like James Gunn and Peacemaker, right? Like he knows what he did with Suicide Squad, and then he wanted the show to match that
tone.
kind of tone and quality. And yeah, it's not as expensive, and they don't have as many big set pieces, but that allows you to explore characters in new ways. And I think the Bene Gesserit being such a more central figure, set of figures in this adaptation, because I know there are other evolutions of humans in the book, right, Tyler? There's like technocrats or something, and
Say that again. I was reading Easton's comment.
There's people who have evolved to basically be machine minds.
There's like Mentats and all these other stuff.
Yeah. And the film has chosen to really focus on the Bene Gesserit.
Yeah.
And I think it will be interesting to see a storyline of, okay, here's how they operate.
You'll see some of that in Messiah if it ever happens.
Yeah.
The machine minds, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they just do it real quick, really.
I mean,
I feel like
I feel like I understood it, but in terms of something, and don't crucify me for making this, but something like Game of Thrones, where it's like we're seeing how the strings are being pulled, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing how someone is playing the chessboard. We're not just being hinted at it.
I think that's one of the strengths, though, just in the movies, that it feels like it's a thing that's for the book readers. That you go,
yeah,
they put that in there. That's really cool.
They balance
because
that incredibly
like in the
well
first
in the
one,
film.
there's Yue. He's a doctor, and he just
Yeah.
touches his head. And he's like, "Here's everything that's going on with you. Like you're okay." And it's like somebody who hasn't read would be like, "Wow, that's interesting. I wonder how he did that. This is a weird sci-fi world." Blah, blah, blah. Book readers going, "Oh, Dr. Yue's a doctor. He's trained his whole life to blah, blah, blah." Like,
Yeah, there's a lot in the book, and we'll get into the book versus the movie. I'm sure will become a discussion in a little bit, but I do kind of want to hit these two comments here. So,
Yeah.
Baroque said, in all honesty, I thought the movie was very good, but I don't know if I liked it, if that makes sense. Honestly, that does make sense. There's several of those movies. And ironically, the first time I watched Blade Runner 2049, if you remember that, Luke, I was like, man, that was really good, but I don't know if I liked it.
and me and Zach were going, "Oh!"
Like, it was like my literal response to that movie when I walked out. I was like, I don't know if I liked that, but it was incredible. And then, of course, I watched it later, and I was like, I love this movie. What happened?
I wonder how much of that, and Baroque, let us know in the chat, is like, what do you not like it because of the narrative? Like, I guess,
Yeah, like, what is it about?
I see people like myself who see Paul's journey in this and aren't like, you think that's not a good moral right? Like, we think he's maybe made the wrong decisions at points, and so like there's that kind of, I don't like it because I don't like to see my heroes or the people I think are going to be a hero not be a hero. Or maybe you just don't like it for another reason, and that's completely...
That's the game in politics, man.
Completely
Nobody's
fine.
a hero.
I'm not... I'm not trying to...
And then Easton, I'm only reading this because you won't hear much argument here. It's just a testament to how goated Villeneuve is. He's killed everything he's ever done, and he put all of his voice into these movies, and it lands. Perfect director for the perfect project. Definitely shouldn't be touched after Denny decides he's moving on from the franchise. Agreed. I mean, I've not seen everything he's done, but everything I've watched of his, I've thought was incredible.
Yeah.
So Luke's watched, I think, everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not everything. I haven't watched like his shorts and
Well, yeah, but his major films.
His Canadian
more his
film
major
work.
releases. Yeah, I've watched.
Yeah.
But no, he's my favorite director, and this kind of just solidified it.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, I feel like he's making the coolest stuff and just has the best mind for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like Nolan or anything. It's just
No, but like when you think of the filmography and like Easton says, not a single miss. I think he's right. Like, what kind of director has? We've talked about that before. Like,
Yeah.
How many directors can say that?
Not many.
And his filmography is not huge, but it's also he's not like he's done 3 or 4 things.
He's relatively new.
Quality over quantity.
He's still producing things
Enemy-
consistently good on a consistent timeline, right?
And-
like every 2-3 years, he's putting out something that just is hot.
Enemy came out in 2013.
Yeah,
That was 11
and
years
he's
ago.
done 6,
8
8.
English movies.
Yeah,
It's crazy. But obviously we can sing Villeneuve's praises all day, but we can get back to the movie too.
yeah. What do you guys think of performances?
Performances, I think...
Best casting.
Yeah, everybody's really good.
Yeah. I don't think there's anybody in this movie that sticks out as the bad actor.
What I love is like every scene feels like it's being stolen by everybody at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
That's
right?
a great way to put it. Yeah.
But it's
Oh
just
yeah,
like,
they stole the movie.
Anytime the camera
well,
cuts to some, like if they're in a group and like anytime the camera cuts to a new person, I'm like, ooh, I'm excited to see what they're gonna do.
Something I really appreciate, just kind of in movies in general these days, I feel like, is when an actor's status doesn't get in the way of their performance.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're watching it and you're not sitting there going, Austin Butler, former Elvis, is really good in this. You're just going, wow, Fade Roth is a crazy person.
Yeah.
Like,
I always, anytime I see Austin Butler, I'm like, oh, that's the DJ guy from Arrow. So I always call him. He's my guy from Fortnite joke.
yeah, I don't think I did that once in this movie.
No,
I was just in it. Everybody was so sold on their performance
Yep.
or bought in, and then they sold it and I bought it. I don't know.
You were
What's-
buying what they were selling, my friend.
All of
Yes.
the above.
And now I'm broke.
Yeah, I don't think there's a bad performance in this either. I think, I don't know, they all share the screen so well. And they all very, in my opinion, accurately encapsulate the characters they're playing. It's the page to screen per character, not story, but performance is... it would be hard to read the book now and not envision these actors.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in the, oh, it's because I've seen them.
Yeah.
It's because of how well they play them. It's the voices I would hear.
Yeah. The voice.
I might still hear because the audiobook is voice acted.
Yeah, it is. It's fully casted.
It's so amazing to listen to.
Yeah. It's fully casted. It has music and background sound. It's
Like you can hear the sand hitting.
yeah, it's cool.
Hey, this movie has music and sound effects. What do you guys think of the score? Zimmer's.
Zimmer is crushing it. He's crushing it. He's riding high right now. I also think the sound effects are really good in this movie, and I think the dialogue is really good in this movie. Put them all together, kind of a miss in my opinion.
Oh.
I do not think the mixing is good. There's several points in the movie where I can't hear what I think I'm supposed to hear. I felt like some parts in like with action beats, there's explosions and there's a lot of treble and mid and no bass, and it really feels out of balance. Kind of hurt my ears. And after the movie, you had brought up, was it because we're in the old IMAX now? Because it's getting old. And I tested that by listening to the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a weird little experiment I kind of made up in my own head. So just bear with me. Normally when I listen to music in my earbuds, they're Raycon earbuds, not sponsored. I feel like I have to say that. Normally I can listen to stuff in between 25-35% volume level.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to blow out my eardrums.
Right.
I have to listen to about 60% with the soundtrack.
Oh, wow.
I have to really crank it up to feel the music.
Yeah.
And sometimes hear it. So I think it's a poorly mixed movie.
I will also say, listening to this in my car, I also have to jack my volume up to hear this.
I don't know if I've noticed that I've had to turn up the soundtrack, but I'm not an audiophile, so... Is that the second week in a row?
You're not an audiophile, you're a person.
I'm a person.
Baroque calls you a Raycom chill.
I had a discount code and they're cheaper headphones.
You got it from being sponsored. I do like the music though.
Oh, it's a great soundtrack.
I think I like the music in the first one better though, but probably because it's the first time I was hearing it.
I think there's that. I also think that there's a little more variety in the first one because of things like the Atreides theme, and kind of. I don't feel like we get as much of the Atreides theme in this one because it really is about Paul becoming this prophet, right? And so it's this idea of him going more into the culture, and we're getting more of a almost religious monk-like sound. Luke, tell me how wrong I am.
You're wrong.
Okay.
It's in the movie a lot. It's
Oh,
just
is it?
it's not bagpipes.
It's just not bagpipes. Okay. Okay.
It's not the triumphant, we've arrived, we're here to take over Arrakis and befriend the Fremen and make money and sell spice. It's but you mentioned a favorite part of the movie. Mm-hmm. It's the Atreides theme.
Oh, great. Okay. So it's still in there. It's they've just changed the instruments for it.
It's
and
just
brilliant. Love it.
Taken down. They change it up. So I would actually argue I think this one is better.
Really?
Because I think something that a composer can do is when they do a sequel,
They can play with it.
they play with it, they experiment on stuff, they change stuff. And like it's something I feel like I don't get a lot with Zimmer. Is in a sequel with him switching things up. Like from Batman Begins to Dark Knight, there's a couple things. They're both fantastic. Listen, they're both really good. But like in the third one, he changed it a lot.
Yeah.
With the Rises themes. So I appreciate that. Like he kind of took chances. There is a lot of similarities too. Like there's still the Bene Gesserit theme is. I felt like a lot more common in this one. Mm-hmm. They have a lot more bigger role in this one. But I love like the soundtrack. Dude, when Fade Rotha and Lady Margot are chatting each other up.
Yep.
Dude, it's like kind of sexy, but it's kind of scary. You're like, I don't really know what I should be feeling right now.
Yeah.
That's Turns out it was sexy.
Over in the chat real quick, Baroque followed up on his comment. Basically everything you've said about great acting, characters, feeling satisfied and whatnot. I didn't feel any of that, but at the same time, I don't know how any sane person can question the quality of production and the technical qualities. So, yeah, I mean...
I do that a lot. Like, it's an extremely well-made movie, but it just doesn't connect everywhere.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Not every movie's for everyone.
Honestly, I think recognizing that is a very valid opinion.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's hard for people to say that. Mm-hmm. Like, to say, oh, I don't know, I didn't like it, so it's all bad. Like, it's so easy to do that. So to watch it and recognize that, I think that's just showing you the lens you watch movies through.
Yeah.
It's like you recognize what's good even if you don't love it.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Other non-spoilery things we want to talk about before we jump into some spoilers?
I guess I'll address kind of the book thing, right? Like that's going to be, I think, a point of contention for some. And as somebody who reads a lot, I think
Nerd.
I have to make my. I'll make my proclamation here.
Ooh.
If you read a lot of books, and a lot of the books you like, a lot of the properties that you like are starting to get adapted. Here's my word of caution to you. Don't expect it to be the same. Just accept that they're going to take liberties from everything you love, and it may look very different. What you hope for when you watch something that's being adapted is that they just capture the essence of what you read. And I think Dune does that. Do they make some changes to some stories? Yes. Are some characters a little different? Sure. But do they capture what that character was trying to accomplish within the story that you read? Absolutely.
Is the Emperor's ship a big mirror orb in the book?
That I don't remember.
Has nothing to do with anything. It just
I
popped in
think
my head.
I think some of that stuff is very visual for Denny to be visual. I don't know
He's
for
gonna
certain.
match that with Florence Pugh's mirror dress. Super shiny.
That dress was so cool. I'm not gonna lie.
No, it was. I mean, it looked pokey. Be scary to sit down in it, but
I don't think she ever sat down though. So
Oh,
you
in
might be
her-
onto something.
Yeah, I just think there has to be, like, for me, the one I always go back to is Ready Player One. I love that book. That book is not a great book, by the way, but that book is the book that got me back into reading, right? And so when that movie was being made, I was like, oh my gosh, it's happening. Not even remotely close.
I've read that book. So
Not
I can-
even remotely close to the movie. Like, it is a completely different format of the game. Like, the characters are different. Love that movie.
yeah.
Because ultimately...
Remember that race car
Yeah.
in the race car challenge in the book?
Nope.
Nope, it's not there.
The only thing in the book that is in the movie is the final thing, where they're playing the game on ice. That's it. Everything else is totally different, and I love it.
So you know what movie is like super different from the book? That
Jaws and Jurassic Park.
favorite movie ever is Jurassic Park.
I knew it was gonna be one of those.
It's super different. Look, it like Tyler was saying, it's just adaptations are never going to fulfill every.
It's just impossible. Like, the
Desire.
medium of novels are such a, like, they're a medium that allow you to just give everything time. It really has a chance to stretch its legs.
Yeah.
In a 2.5-hour movie, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You have to cut things. You have to change things. Like, you just can't.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. So I don't
No,
go
I'd
into
take a
things.
50-hour movie. That'd be pretty cool. Not a show, a movie.
So I go into these things expecting stuff that I love to be different.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay.
Absolutely. And then every once in a while, and actually I can't even say this, you guys have a better sense of this, you get an adaptation of something that's like super spot on. And I think The Last of Us gets a lot of praise for that. I know it's not one for one still, but like that's pretty good, right? Like in terms of what that story is and what those moments are, The Last of Us show captures that from the game pretty well.
Yes, very well.
They also
But
take
that's-
some liberties.
But it's also incredibly rare.
Yeah.
Also
But it's
a
also
10-hour game.
it's also
and an 8-hour
hold on,
show
it's
or
different
whatever,
though
right?
too, because it's a visual medium to a visual medium.
Yeah, it's true.
Right? So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's a different comparison.
Yeah.
You're taking a book that is something that any one of us, Trevor can interpret it totally different than I can, and we can both be right. Cuz it's a book.
Yeah.
Sure, there's a message that they're trying to get across, but I can interpret a character's intentions way different
Yeah.
than anybody else reading it, right? Trevor asked a question. Yeah, it's impossible, but the question is that should the original story be taken into consideration when critiquing the adaptation? Depends what you're critiquing. Are you critiquing the
adaptation or the movie?
right? Like what are we, the adaptation of the novel or the movie that they made? Because it's a different thing,
Yeah.
right? Like I don't know. I keep them separate. Trevor, is my rule of thumb. The book is not the movie is not the book. I can enjoy the book. I can enjoy the movie. They don't have to be the same for me. Blues win, baby. Let's go. Who'd they play? Please don't say the Caps. I always try to keep adaptations separate. I think it's just better for me.
Yeah.
Early on, I didn't do that, and I didn't like a lot of things that I think I would have liked more.
Sure.
So that's just how I function.
Hold on to those things with an open hand, right? Like
The other thing too, the book's not going anywhere.
yeah.
I'm really curious now about how the discourse was in when did Jurassic Park come out? 91?
94.
Oh.
94 sounds
94?
right.
94.
How were because
What's
that's
that say? That'll tell us.
very very early internet or pre-internet.
Mm-hmm.
Like how were people like this is nothing like the book?
Yeah.
Did they just go to their local library and just yell at a poor old librarian?
93, baby.
I say this is a script from the draft of this script is from 92.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure it was incendiary.
I'm just picturing some dude at his library going, Jurassic Park movie?
Well, let's look at the Meg.
Yeah, based on a book.
Have you ever? I've read the first half of that book. Very different experience than what the movies are, and that's okay. They're both good. They're both fun.
Yeah.
It's
Enjoy
just
both.
I won't say they're both good.
well, yeah, but they're both enjoyable.
One is like chocolate ice cream. The other one is like chocolate cake. They're both chocolate, but they're completely different experiences.
Yeah.
Can the chocolate cake be the movies?
It's like cheese and
Okay.
melted cheese.
Yes.
Like,
Dude, now
cheese
we're talking.
cheese is good. Melted cheese is like a game changer. You're like, oh my gosh, right? So
cool. All right,
Trevor, I hope
loving
that
this cheese
gives you
talk.
some peace when you think about this now, because it is different, and I think that's important to point out. There is some major differences, but for me, it doesn't hinder the movie at all.
No.
So
Cool. Let's real quick just go down the line, give it our fanboy recommendation, and then we'll talk some spoilers and talk spoilers.
Booyah.
He like whispered that.
Well, I got really close to the mic.
also booyah.
It's very realistic.
You're never gonna believe it, but it's a third booyah.
What? No, it's a triple booyah. Trip booze.
Yeah.
Wait. Trip booze.
Trip booze.
Trip yaws.
That didn't come out right. But
On
yeah.
the fanboy recommendation scale, what is the chat giving this? I'm curious.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Those of
curious.
you hanging out in the chat.
Do
Yeah.
they know our scale?
The scale is
If you know our scale, that's true.
dumpster fire. straight to
JT,
streaming,
you don't get to answer because I know you haven't seen it yet.
Matthew McConaughey, fanboy worthy. Booyah.
Yeah. So
Which is funny because those can be interpreted so
Yeah.
differently.
yeah, it's just a recommendation scale.
Exactly.
I've liked some movies more fanboy worthy than some booyahs.
Yeah.
So let's hop over into Baroque gives it a fanboy worthy.
Okay.
JT's to be determined.
Yeah.
But as
As they roll in,
they're
we'll
rolling,
shout them
yeah.
out.
But spoilers. So if you care about spoilers, we'll be talking about it now.
Gonna ruin it.
I want to go back. I want to start by going back to something that Baroque said earlier.
Do you need a hit of worm juice?
I might, yes.
I'm
Back
almost
to
out.
something Baroque said earlier, and I know is a big difference in the book, and that is Paul's sister.
Yeah.
She's not born in the film.
She's
so
not Anya Taylor-Joy in the book either.
That's true.
That's true.
That is a very good point.
But she's communicating with Lady Jessica kind of in
The womb.
utero. Is
Yeah.
that what that's called? What'd you guys think of that?
I think Denny played Death Stranding. I was like, I want to do that.
Hey, he's got great taste. It's a great game.
What if Denny directs that?
Dude, I will die.
What if that's the
I will die.
What if that's the secret project?
Oh my god.
Sorry, that was an epiphany.
Like, I know I predicted Guillermo del Toro just because he's friends
Yeah.
with Hideo. That dude, it would be a dream come true. Like my favorite game and my favorite movie director currently coming
Yeah.
together. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh!
No, so
Why did you put that in my head?
oh
never be the
yeah,
same.
it's different.
I loved it.
But it works. It works for the story they're trying to tell. Look, Denny was like, he cut multiple characters already.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't think he was going to add another one.
I just think it's a super unique thing to
Easton,
do.
no one said that here. No one said that here.
Yeah, but Easton's replying to the internet.
That's true. Unfortunately, the internet doesn't come here on Monday nights.
What? Read it.
He said it's a booyah. Stop yelling. Don't type in all caps at me. He said it's a booyah, but it isn't the greatest movie of the decade or the greatest sci-fi movie since Empire Strikes Back, like the internet has said. Not even, Denny's best sci-fi movie. And then I can't read the bottom
Not
part.
even the best movie. In the
I
last
would
12
go back on
months.
that. I actually do think it's his best sci-fi movie. I don't think it's his best movie, though. Ooh. Is that a take?
What do you think is his best one?
Sicario.
Oh,
Sicarios.
Ask me what his
Fantastic.
Ask me what his second best movie is.
Prisoners?
You're supposed to ask me.
Oh, what's his second best movie?
It's Prisoners. Dude, I watched it last night, and like I get to the end of that movie, I'm just like, this is so good. Like I'm on the edge of my seat. I've seen that movie probably like 5 times. Just like, where are they?
No, I think.
Oh, Luke, what's his third best movie?
Dune Part 2. I think so.
And Easton says his 2 best are Blade Runner and Arrival.
So
Both great movies.
listen, all of his movies are freaking awesome.
Yeah, we're splitting hairs at this point.
I think the 2 lowest for me are Enemy is his lowest,
Sure.
which is just really hard to grasp. It's such a
Also,
weird
his
movie.
first English film.
Yeah.
Right?
And above that, I have Arrival. It's a great movie, but the last line of that movie kind of almost ruins it. Know what it is? Let's make a baby. And it's just like it just drops it down. It's so good, and then it's like, huh? Oh,
You know who did make a baby?
Jessica.
Yeah.
That's
I'm trying to get us
to
back
get
on-
back to
trying
that.
to get us back. I really like how that is used because it doesn't introduce us to a 2-year-old that's walking around talking like an adult in the books. Like I think this is actually in a way creepier but more approachable.
It's more mysterious too, and the Bene
Yeah.
Gesserit is just always mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing too. And again, it goes back to capturing that essence, right?
Yeah.
Like the kid is mysterious in the book. You're like, what the heck is going on?
But I told you guys
This
before
works.
too. My favorite line in the entire movie is just when she looks down at her belly and just goes quiet. It's just like, oh,
And this is, probably a testament to her acting ability and like, good lord, she's
good, man. Like,
Rebecca Ferguson nailed it.
Jake Gyllenhaal or Hugh Grant yelled at her, and it.
It was definitely Hugh
She was
Grant,
like,
right?
I'm going to teach you a lesson.
I
I'm
think-
going to be the best dang actress you've ever seen.
I think it would be funnier if it was Jake.
Right. Well, apparently he's had some weird set. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
The worm ride, that sounds weird saying it that way.
Okay, so I have a bone to pick with the internet. I'm gonna jump on the Easton train here for a second. There's Twitter accounts pointing out that like Denny made up the way they get on the worms. That's just not true. It's in the books. Like, let's not do that.
I just saw him talking about how
It took him a
doesn't-
long time to shoot it.
No, I saw him saying it doesn't say how they get off, and he wanted to figure out how to do that for Dune Messiah because it never shows them getting off the worms.
Oh,
They
so
just
somebody took it as he said they didn't show him how to get on, and I was like, no, they definitely do. There's a whole chapter. There's like a whole part of the book that's about that.
Yeah.
But maybe the getting off part of it. I didn't see Denny's actual quote on it, but
I saw a bunch of stuff. That's what I remember.
yeah.
Just like, oh yeah, that's right. They just kind of show up at places.
But the mounting the worm, as we'll call it.
Hey.
Yeah. Awesome scene.
Yeah.
Awesome scene. Love just how like it feels awful. and hard to do, and I love that.
Dude, with Stilgar, when they all see the word, it's just like,
Not that big.
that's a big one.
He's like, call a big one. Don't make us look bad or something like that. And then the worm comes up, and Stilgar's like, not that big.
Oh no.
Yeah. Javier Bardem in general,
Oh my gosh.
awesome in this movie.
Fantastic.
Hilarious in a way that fits the world.
Dude, I love how he starts out being this, like, because I think it's so easy for our culture and people our age to kind of laugh at, religious fundamentalists or the idea of prophecy. And so, like, I think that's a very understandable point of view, right? Like, because like everything Paul does, he's like, as it is written.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the meme is moving around the internet now.
Lisan al-Gaib.
But like by the end of the movie, you're like, this is how
Yeah.
terrorist organizations start, right? Like, this is how fanatics are born.
Yep.
And we were laughing at him earlier.
Yep.
And I just think that turn is so good. And it's so subtle, and the performance is just spot on.
Yeah.
Yep. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. East End. There's a big community asking how the F they get off. And Denny said he knows how. It just didn't seem important for the story to get put in there. Agreed. I don't think it's necessary.
They do a backflip.
Hey, Spider-Man,
Do a
do a
barrel roll.
backflip.
Do a backflip, roll out of it. And you're landing in sand, so it's a bit of a softer landing.
Yeah.
What about, we haven't really talked about Paul's journey. We've kind of talked at a high level. What do you guys think? Was this I don't know. I won't lead into it. What do you guys think of Timothée Chalamet's performance and Paul's story?
I love Timothée Chalamet. I think he's so good for this role. I think he pretty much crushes everything he does at this point, right? Like, you can pretty much pencil him in as it's going to be a good performance at this point, I think. Even no matter how big or small the role he plays is. What I'll say, though, I love the journey he goes on, and I think, again, like, it captures what this story is about.
Just watching, like, his inner conflict the entire movie, because he knows exactly what's going to happen if he drinks the juice.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I can't go there. I know exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to get all this power, and I'm going to be a bad guy. Mm-hmm. And he just has no choice, really.
He'll be on the path to being a bad guy.
Like, the path was laid out to him by a religion that this was going to be him, and his mother made sure that he was going to drink juice and become
the Kwisatz Haderach.
No, I just think it's incredibly refreshing to see a movie of this size and a character of this scale. Like, he is such a huge figure. Not physically. Timmy's kind of small.
skinny. Yeah.
But have a tragic story. I don't think we see a lot of tragedies in epics anymore.
Remember when everybody thought he was going to be a white savior?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, another white savior story. And then everybody, and like Tyler's like,
just hold on.
Just, wait till the next movie.
Just wait.
Just wait for Messiah when it gets even worse.
But tragic's the word, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's hard. It's a hard thing to watch.
Yeah.
Like, this character that you start out rooting for, and how, he gets to Arrakis and his dad is killed, and like all these things, like everybody's against the house, and he, through this finds out some things. I know we're in spoilers, but I won't go too deep because I know JT's probably still in here, but like, there's a big reveal in this movie that you find out his lineage is a little iffy, and like all these things, like everything he believed, everything he was raised to do. Like, you find out.
He fights it for so long.
Right. And eventually he just gives in. And it's sad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad. Because, like, I was talking to Easton this weekend about it, and I was just saying, like, it sucks because there is a good guy in Paul.
Yeah.
At his core, he is a good person. But
I mean, even at the end, he's just like, he looks at Johnny and he's like, I will always love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just walks off.
Yep. It's
and you're
in
just
there.
like, man, how much of him is there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just slowly killing what's good about him over time. And like, that's, if you wanted to translate that to the modern world, it's politics.
Yeah.
Every person gets into politics with good intentions, and by the time they're out of it, it's not that, right? Like,
What I'm
Oh,
hearing
sci-fi is being political? What?
yeah, right? And like,
is this is the
What?
perfect lead-up movie to Alex Garland's Civil War.
Oh.
but no, it's so remarkable how well Chalamet carries that performance
Yeah.
across both movies.
Mm-hmm.
We see him as this kid, and we leave him as this not so great, but still a good person somewhere in there, who's kind of been put in an impossible situation.
I think you can kind of say the same thing about Jessica too. Because I
Yeah.
think there's a part of her that loves Paul because he is her child.
Yeah,
Because like even like in the fight at the end, he gets stabbed and
she's concerned.
she's worried.
Yeah.
And you're like, is she worried because he's the mission, or because he's the son?
Yeah.
But like in the first movie, you have like her being like, I will protect Paul with my life, and it's Leto who's like, no, Bene Gesserit protect him. Like she was thinking, no, I as mom will protect him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my favorite.
I think her performance really
It's later,
shows
right?
that too. Yeah.
So jumping to her and her character, how I've always viewed her character from the first time I read the book is she's kind of this antithesis of Mary from the Bible, right? Like Mary is given, a Messiah.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica's like, no, I'm forcing the Messiah.
Yeah.
And I love that idea. And I think you
were told to only have daughters.
Yeah. Like she just forces that. And it just, to me, she is truly the villain of all of this. And I think it's so cool. It's so well done.
Yeah, it's really interesting because
Also, perfect casting choice.
perfect casting choice for sure. Like, yeah, in this story, she feels like the villain. I think though that there is this sense, because I'm going back to what you were saying earlier, Luke. I think she's pushing him because she knows that the Bene Gesserit, like the vibes I'm getting. Tyler's read the book, so he probably has more backstory than me. The vibes I'm getting is Jessica is pushing this because she thinks it's the only way to save Paul. She's pushing him into this role because she thinks it's the way to keep him alive.
Yeah.
Because he is not even supposed to be alive. Right? And that's why they want him, well, that's one of the reasons the Bene Gesserit want him hunted down.
Mm-hmm.
And so how do you do that but take power?
I think it's how do you distinguish villain from antagonist? I think she's an antagonist in this movie.
Probably a better choice.
But
of
like
word,
I
yeah.
would still put the Emperor and the Harkonnens as the villains.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's honestly, I feel like somebody could just write a book on like
that whole
what's
mix.
the difference?
Yeah.
Sure.
There
probably is one.
And like I feel like that going into Messiah, I feel like the question is going to be: is Paul an antagonist, or is he a villain? I don't know because I haven't read it. From what I hear, I'm a little nervous because I do like Paul, and I'm probably going to watch him do some horrible things. And it's like, okay, he is the villain. Oh, I don't know. Villains are antagonists.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I mean, I know that
It's nuanced.
one of the things, Tyler, we were talking about before the episode got started was that Shawnee's character is a lot less devoted to Paul in the film than she is in the movie. Than in the book.
Those are the same thing.
Those were the same thing. I corrected myself.
They're exactly the same in the film and the movie.
Yeah, accurate.
Yeah.
Accurate. But
Yeah.
compared to the book, she's a little more bought into him as being the
Messiah.
Either the Messiah or at least on board with like
She's a little more committed to Paul.
Okay.
I would say. Like she's very much his partner.
Yeah.
Right? And in this, like Chani's still kind of and in the book she's strong and she's still independent, but in this they lean into that more.
Yeah.
And that, she wants to be she believes what she believes. She's not going to let her feelings for Paul sway her. She's going to believe what's real and what's in front of her.
Yeah.
Right? And like they kind of talk about in this, it's also a little different in the book, but I don't think it's that important. But the North versus the South, and the Fremen, kind of their beliefs. The South being more of like the traditionalists. Yeah, I mean, she's just more of a, in this, what I would say is a free thinker than, I don't know. I feel like she's more bought into the Fremen ways in the book. And in this, she feels like she's just kind of, she's with them. She believes in them.
She loves Paul.
But she loves Paul. Right? And like, if I love somebody and they make the choice that Paul makes, it'd be hard.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's a hard thing to stomach. And I think she reacts in the way in the movie that anybody would.
Yeah.
What it does do, though, is it does set up a different... Their placements will be interesting with Messiah.
Yeah.
Because they are together in Messiah. And in this, it's kind of implied that maybe they're not.
Yeah.
And so it makes me think that Denny's going to take a lot of liberties with Messiah, and I think he needs to.
I've heard it's pretty gets whack. Little wackadoodle.
It's a little wackadoodle.
Not as whack as Children of Dune. No.
I'm about to read Children here very soon. It's weird. I don't know. I don't want to spoil things for you guys in the future, but there's some weird choices made in Messiah with characters who return and stuff like that. It's just...
I mean, I feel like it's something that Denny has just done with both. He's like, hey, let's make it understandable.
We're going to ratchet the weird to a place where people can understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't mind being weird, but it at least has to be based in the world in a way that a general audience member could
Wait till we get some worm babies.
get its head around it. Yeah. Right.
Oh, yeah.
That's not Messiah, by the way.
No. I know.
I want to see the freaking Guild Navigator, bro.
Dude.
I want to see what Denny thinks that looks like.
I want to see... Okay. Spoiler for Messiah. I want to see Jason Momoa back in that role and how different he will be.
He's a guild boy?
No,
he's Duncan Idaho, but they reanimate him basically. He's like basically Frankenstein's monster.
Doesn't
do
he
they
come
give
back?
But he has
like
somebody else's...
Did they give him worm juice?
He comes back
No.
multiple times, I think.
Yeah, he
over the
becomes
course of
like
the
this
series.
assistant to Paul, but it's not really Duncan, but he has Duncan's memories. It's weird, dude. I remember he comes back and I was like, what?
Do you think Denny would do that?
I don't know. Probably not.
Because it's just like, what are we doing here?
I mean, it's an important character.
Would he just give it to an already alive character?
Yeah, could you give it to someone
Like
else?
Gurney.
Can you give it to Gurney?
Gurney. He's alive.
I don't think he could give it to Gurney.
What does Gurney do in Messiah?
Die.
Not that. Not what Duncan does.
Cool. Opportunity for a new character.
Yeah,
like
it'll
a
be
new-
interesting to see how they
the
do
new
it.
casting.
Stilgar.
That will be thrilled about.
Jameis? He talks to Jameis in his
They
dreams.
could do Jameis.
He's always asking
Yeah.
dead Jameis for help.
They
Yeah,
could do
that's true.
Jameis, yeah. That
Or
is
I guess he
possible.
could just talk to dead Jason Momoa in his dreams. Like
It's
he
got to
does with
be.
Jameis.
It's got to be a dead character. It'll be interesting. I don't know. We don't need to get into that, but it'll be interesting to see how they do Messiah because it's wild. But I do like the casting of Florence Pugh for the princess. That's
Yeah.
a good
I thought
decision.
Like she's in it for like 6 minutes or something. I thought she was really good.
She was very good. She'll be good in Messiah as well.
The Princess Irulan.
I look forward to that. Also, loved her recording the little like chapter headings.
Yeah.
So cool.
That's how every chapter of the book starts.
I was like, this is cool. I love that. Just nice little touch.
From the Diary of Princess Irulan.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, something we didn't talk in depth about in our non-spoilers, but real quick before we jump off of this, I want to mention is Greg Fraser
Yeah.
and cinematography.
Dude, he's been cooking.
Like, we talked about how good this film looks, and that is a combo of Denny and Greg and just that immense trust they have with each other.
Yep.
Everything on a
Skill.
production design
Yeah.
on that line. The cinematography with the effects, with the production, the set design,
Yep.
and the costumes. Just whoosh, beautiful.
Costumes especially.
Dude,
Yeah.
So
freaking
good.
Jessica's costumes were so bonkers. She's got the writing all over her, and she's got these huge dresses. Just like, how do they make that?
Yeah.
I liked in the arena the
The black,
the black
the negative planet.
but the
The
guys,
Black Sun, yeah.
the guards or whatever
Up against the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, what I loved
So
was
cool.
when the Bene Gesserit showed up and they're in their black garb. They walking out the sun and they just turn dead white. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
So Baroque mentioned the visuals on Getty Prime. It's not actually black and white. It's shot in infrared, and that's why it looks that way.
That's why their teeth are black.
So,
Because they have a black sun or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So a really, really cool.
Dude, how are they not
Way of
just
doing that.
sunburnt like crazy?
Dude,
Roasty toasty on the skin.
And I think Frasier was commenting Denny was commenting on one of the late night talk shows about how, like, when they make that decision, right, like you shoot in infrared, you
Have to design everything for
you
it.
don't get that color back, right? Like you are committed 100%. So that was really cool
it's a ballsy move.
to see them commit to that and not just go with like a black and white.
Yeah.
It's like if you're shooting in black and white, then you can recover color.
And let's talk about Austin Butler too here.
Yeah.
He did a great job.
Mhm.
Did a lot with a little. And I think that's always a huge testament to an actor's part in a film is like if they don't have a lot like to do, but they're really memorable, that's a great sign. And I do think he plays a very memorable character.
Yeah.
I jokingly call him Neville Longbottom.
Oh.
He's like the other prospect, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I always kind of laugh at that comment to myself when I say it, but yeah, like he's so good in what little he has to do, and he stands out. I just visually he stands out. His performance stands out. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Good to see him doing something not Elvis.
Yeah. Yeah. Real quick, one of the like small moments. There's a couple moments, including that fight with him,
Fade.
that kind of made me go like, kind of just stop and like grab your seat like kind of
When there's no score
or
in the
just
fight.
kind of make
Freaking love that
make
decision.
your heart drop. And one of the things I was talking with Luke and my wife Stephanie after the showing was the how they get the water of life by drowning a infant worm, and how I was surprised at how much that affected me. I did not enjoy watching that scene, and I just that's a testament. I know it's a fake worm, and it's a worm.
Well, I think a part that makes it also hurt is that the lady doesn't really do it by choice. Jessica uses the voice on her.
Yeah. But just that combination of all those elements really made that scene impactful in a hard to watch way.
Yeah.
Something that I thought was really impactful like that, and I guess I don't know if it's like that in the book, but Paul, I don't think used the voice the entire movie until he talked to the Mother Reverend. And like he never used it on a Fremen, and
he gets loud at the Fremen, but doesn't have to use the voice.
Yeah.
Because of how ready they are to turn.
You know what I love about that moment though is, and what makes it so impactful is her reaction, and then Lady Jessica.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're both
just
like, oh shoot.
But Jessica kind of smirks a little bit too, where it's like, yep.
And it's
so
exactly
cool.
what she says to him the first time they meet, and he kind of gets snippy at her.
Yeah, it's
a great
awesome.
callback to the first film.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was impactful when Batista smashed that dude's face into the console. Yeah,
Batista did great.
I thought he was fine.
I think he had a much smaller role.
Yeah.
This time around.
I thought he was fine. I don't know.
I like seeing him be afraid of his
Yeah, I think he did good with those moments, but yeah, like I don't know.
dude. When the dude is just like, we don't know what's on this other planet. Fade Rother's just like, dead. It's like, no, you suck. You're out of here.
I loved him picking up the blade when you first meet Fade, and he like licks it, and then he slits that dude's throat, and you're like, okay, yep.
It's amazing
That's
how
him.
much of
Yep.
his character was improvised. I guess the tongue thing was improvised.
Really?
The
kiss. When he kisses
His
Baron,
uncle.
Bro, he
that
was all in.
improvised. So
Method actor, baby.
Great.
that won't come back to haunt us in 5 years.
15 years from now, when we're hearing about him sending used condoms to his set mates.
He's gonna be at family Christmas and he's just gonna smooch his uncle on the lips.
Sorry, I'm getting ready for
"Bro,
my role.
What are we doing here? He's like,
Sorry.
my bad. I'm still trying to get out of character. I had to talk to a voice therapist.
Still trying to shake fade here.
I could probably talk about 100 moments in this film, but I
That's the
I do
thing.
want to mention one more, and because I think it's when I knew that Paul's journey was headed towards tragedy, and it's the Southern War Council, and when he comes in and just takes command of that room, that's when
when the power crept
the heart
in, yeah.
drops, right?
Dude,
You're
he's
like,
so good in that scene.
gosh, but yeah, you're right. Like he grabs your attention and owns it. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, he's so good.
Yeah, no, when he speaks up, like, you listen.
Yeah.
And I think that's just so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool that can come across to me in a theater, right? Not just the room he's in.
Right.
And I just think that's awesome.
Yep. Easton says barista. Batista's rage was great, though.
I think he said range.
Oh, range.
Yeah.
Yeah. Range.
He does have good range in this. I think you kind of hit it. His role is really small in this.
And it is to be ultimately.
Yeah.
He gets angry because things aren't going his way.
He gets scared.
And then he has to get scared because of his cousin.
And he
that's
gets
really
absolutely owned by Gurney.
Great.
Yeah.
Great nothing fight, right? Like a great just boom boom. It reminds me, spoiler alert, of the
Twin Sons episode of Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah. It's great. Like a fight does not need to be long for it to be impactful.
Mm-hmm.
So,
is that fight like that in the book?
I feel like his fights are way more iconic in the book. But again,
I don't know. I thought it was pretty iconic.
no, it is. But he feels so.
well,
I guess where I say Batista's fine is he feels way more menacing to me in the book than he is in the movies. Like I felt scared of him. I was like, oh, I hope Paul never sees him.
Yeah.
When I was reading the book, I was like, this dude is going to murder Paul. And then you meet Fade, and you're like, oh no. But yeah, no, I mean, he's fine.
Okay.
He's not a negative. I just don't. He's not like the top of my list.
Sure.
So
yeah, that's fair. Okay, we're gonna wrap up Dune 2.
booyah!
Great film.
Loved it. Seeing it again this week.
Can't wait to see it again. I don't know when I'm gonna get a chance. Boo.
You suck.
I know. Okay.
I've seen 2 movies this year. Of new movies.
Oh, which one's the best? It's definitely.
I just think it's so interesting that
Give me
one,
5 reasons it's not Madam Web.
I just think it's funny that one has a good chance of being the worst movie of the year, and the other one has a good chance of being the best movie of the year.
Yeah. There's a very real shot at that. Yeah.
I think the Oscars are pretty much set for a lot of the
Production stuff.
production awards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll definitely get noms.
Those technical. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. Okay. What news we got this week? Anything?
I only have one thing.
I think it's a cool thing.
Oh, it's fantastic. Made me super happy. Leap Day is Superman's birthday, in case you didn't know. And James Gunn posted a picture of the David Corn Sweat suit logo.
Yeah.
And it looks awesome.
I like it. It's a little
And-
bit of an amalgamation of a couple logos.
Yeah,
and
it's
I
got
think
some
that's
Kingdom Come in there, which
yeah, which I
really
think
cool.
is, I think that's kind of the tell, right? Like I think James has been pretty outspoken that he wants to get there.
Yeah, he posted that picture a lot too.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
I think
does.
he loves Alex Ross.
Yeah.
And so I think if he
Who
could,
doesn't?
right? And I think if he can use some of that, I think he's going to. I think the thing to me though that pops out is the snow. So that's great.
Ayo.
And
Imagine getting in a snowball fight with Superman.
And the color.
What if he just forgets to hold back a little bit?
Just throws a snowball through somebody's chest.
Yeah. Can you
kills
imagine?
him.
Gosh dang it.
What?
Brightburn 2. Snowball
If
fight.
so, I think that's a good MythBuster thing.
Oh.
Snow traveling at terminal velocity, would it just like evaporate? Like it's moving fast enough that it wouldn't actually do any damage?
Superman ice breaths it. Frost breaths it.
Okay, you're making it an ice ball and not a snowball.
Whatever.
He wouldn't even have to ice breath it. Couldn't he just compress it so tight?
That's true too.
Maybe.
Just compact the molecules. But no.
The other part of the news is
the title.
The title of the movie has been changed. He dropped the legacy part.
Yeah, it's
so
just
now
Superman.
it's just Superman. And I also think it's really funny that there's never been a movie a movie title of just Superman. The original Superman movie is Superman the movie.
Oh yeah.
Then it was Superman 2.
And Superman 3.
And Superman 4, The Quest for Peace.
And then
Superman Returns.
Superman Returns.
Man of Steel.
Batman v Superman.
Smallville.
Oh
yeah.
Superman and Lois. Right?
Yeah.
It's the current one that's ending, right?
Mm-hmm.
They announced that it's coming to an end.
Superman, the animated series.
Oh my.
What I was gonna say too about the logo going back, the color of it and the design, it reminds me of the Superman anime show that was just out last year. Kind of similar there.
Good show.
Never finished it, but
What?
I know I should watch it.
It's a very different take on Superman.
Yeah. I liked what I watched. I think I watched the first 4.
And it's really weird because everything is super sci-fi in it. Like it kind of reminds me of like Voltron, honestly, where everything is just this super alien sci-fi robot villain instead of just like I'm Lex Luthor and I'm bald.
Dude, did you see the TikTok or whatever that Rachel Brosnahan posted?
Yeah.
Of them.
Oh yeah.
I just love that it seems to be good chemistry.
Dude.
Ever
since her name showed up on that short list, she's been the only one.
Yeah, Holt shaved his head. I don't know if that's newsworthy, but he's done it before, so I'm not surprised. But he looks great.
Do you think he's getting a Fury Road flashback?
He shows up.
I am awaited!
I hope he shows up to set with a can of silver spray paint one day. And James Gunn's like, please, God, no, don't do that.
Maybe. Oh, I guess filming will be done. I was going to say if they're filming on Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be done by then.
That would be awesome.
I'm just a war boy.
I'm awaited. We did get our kind of first look teaser image at the new Tron movie, Ares.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we don't care about this. Jared Leto's in it.
Okay.
I saw it. I honestly couldn't tell if it was practical or not.
No,
when I was looking at it, and I was like, is this real?
Right.
Like, is this him in a suit, or is this just like a CGI shot? Like, I couldn't tell, and I thought that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
I assume it's him in a suit.
It didn't say much to me.
We're
making a movie.
That it's actually happening.
Listen, strike one, Jared Leto. Possible strike two. Is Daft Punk doing the music for this?
They're retired, so I don't know. I know they've been
works.
trying to get him to come out of retirement to do it.
If they don't come back, it's 2 strikes because there's 2 members of Daft Punk.
Yeah.
So it gets automatically
That's 3 strikes.
3 strikes for Luke. That's a good point. We also got news that there's going to be a Naked Gun reboot with Liam Neeson coming out in 2025.
Dude, this is awesome. This is awesome. Liam Neeson is hilarious.
Liam Neeson is a great choice for this.
I hope he speaks in his Scottish accent too. I don't know why. I think that'd make it more funny. I've actually... So, I don't know if this says anything about me, but it's always fun to talk about movies you haven't seen, and some people get upset. I haven't seen any Naked Gun movie. I only ever watch clips of it on the internet.
It's so good, but I'm not going to force you to do it.
I feel like I've seen all of the movies funny. Because I see so many clips.
Yeah.
But I love this. I think it's great.
I just love that Liam Neeson just found this niche and has just lived in it forever now.
And now he's in the parody of it.
We've got yeah, and this is produced by Seth MacFarlane, who Liam Neeson has partnered up with before in one of the Ted movies.
Mm-hmm.
Who I actually think it was a really funny bit in the Ted movies. So, and he's got range as a comedy actor, so I think that's a good pairing.
Easton asked if we talked about the Twister trailer. We talked about that a couple weeks ago, I think. Super Bowl week.
Yeah, it came out during
when the trailer came out.
People are dumb. Don't go underneath passes.
I'm very excited for that movie, but oh man, it's gonna be so bad.
Dana and I watched that trailer the other day, and she was like, that looks bad. I can't wait.
We have the technology now to like study tornadoes. We've learned a lot just since the first Twister movie. Why are we going under bridges still? Come on.
Oh, I've not watched A Million Ways to Die in the West, but I guess Liam Neeson's in that with Seth MacFarlane as well.
Yeah.
So, good call, JT.
Apparently, they're just best buds.
Yeah, right? They're just boys. They go way back.
Apparently. No, I haven't watched A Million Ways to Die in the West, but I will put it on my watch list, which means it will never get watched.
I've only ever seen one clip from that movie. It's the Back to the Future gag.
What else you got?
Big gag. That's really it for my news list.
You got anything? Slow news
week.
Code 8 Part 2 is out on Netflix.
Ooh.
What? Oh, yeah. I heard Code 8.
Code 8.
What is that?
Code 8.
Code
so
8.
Is Spaceman.
Part 2.
Yeah, that's on my...
Not great reviews.
I'm going to try and get
to
really?
It
before
I didn't see him.
It's pretty mixed.
My trip, but yeah.
Yeah, I was like flipping through Netflix yesterday and I was like, what? That's out? I feel like that just got announced. But because it kind of did. But
yeah.
Sweet.
Kind of announce and then keep that hype up for just a week or two. And then,
yeah.
Then it'll be out. Yeah. So, what'd you guys...
Oh, Xbox thing. Third-party publisher partnership 30-minute live stream March 6th.
Oh.
I don't know what it's going to be.
Obviously, the whole thing is going to be about Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah. My guess is,
sure.
Let's make predictions. My prediction is that some Final Fantasy is coming to Xbox. Because they'd have that relationship with Square now.
I predict that there's going to be nothing of substance and everybody's going to be really disappointed.
It's always a safe prediction.
No, I feel like there's going to be no games that like anybody has ever heard of.
Oh, yeah, because it's all going to be...
It's going to be like Tree Swing 3 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Xbox is, and Phil especially, is trying to establish more of a relationship with Japan.
Yeah.
So I could see a lot of that. Also, Sony layoffs.
Was that... Did we talk about that last week?
I don't think we did.
I don't know.
I think it was Tuesday morning.
But then also EA layoffs.
EA layoffs as well, and the Sony... Thank you. Yeah. The Star Wars first-person shooter game got canceled as well.
Yep.
I can't...
A couple of... Yeah, one of the Battlefield teams got scrapped.
Yeah.
So, like... it's just interesting to see them go abandon...
Ridgeline closed down.
Yeah. Those, like, IP... property things that I guess some statistic is telling them aren't going to be a good return on investment, but it seems like everyone's really been leaning into IP the last 5 years.
Yeah, and then Sony laid off, I think it was like 900 or 600 people.
That's right, yeah.
Regarding the Star Wars canceled game, listen, I have to put like a lot of pre-stuff into this. It is horrible that people lost their jobs. It is horrible that games are canceled and more people are losing jobs. But I wasn't terribly overly disappointed that this game...
Which game was this?
This is the Respawn Mandalorian game. First-person shooter.
Yeah.
I wasn't terribly disappointed that is the game that was canceled.
Well, and especially when they've got... Don't they still have a...
Jedi Survivor... Jedi 3, I guess.
Yeah, Jedi 3 is in development.
Is there not one that's more like an open world, or was that the Mandalorian game?
That's Star Wars Outlaws.
It was.
That's coming out this year.
That's still coming out.
Yeah,
that's massive.
That's made pretty much.
Avalanche.
Massive.
Massive.
It's Ubi. It's Ubi massive.
Okay,
well, yeah, it's Ubi massive. That's making that.
But no, the Mandalorian game was first-person shooter, not open world.
Okay.
But I don't know. It's just like when you hear Mandalorian games set during after Empire or after Return of the Jedi, it's just like, oh my gosh, I can't take it anymore. I'm so tired of watching stormtroopers be the only bad guys in the entire universe. Why can't we set it during the Mandalorian Wars? Are you kidding me?
No, I think...
I feel a little bad about that opinion because I know like people lost their jobs, but like...
Yeah, I just hope...
I'll take the hate for it.
I hope that
It's okay
there's
not to be
enough
excited
of...
about a project.
Yeah, I hope there's enough Respawn left to still make Titanfall 3. It'll never
Dude,
happen.
it's supposed to come out in like 6 days. Didn't you
I know,
hear?
I saw that. Yeah. No, but they are making the next Fallen Order game, Jedi game.
Dude, I can't wait.
Sony closed their London studio.
They did mostly VR stuff, and
Sony's pretty much
PlayStation
stepping
2
out of the VR thing.
VR has not had any real support since launch, so that
They've only made one game.
Sony has?
Yeah, the Horizon game.
Oh, that's true.
I don't have a PlayStation. Maybe if I had bought a PlayStation VR, it would have been enough
No,
probably not.
statistical data to be like, there's enough people invested.
I don't think your
Probably not.
$600 plus taxes are gonna do much.
The other thing, Easton asked about the Dune video game. We got a trailer for that today.
Oh yeah,
It's a survival game.
really
No,
excited.
not excited.
Yeah, same. It looks like a huge.
Just looks like Ark.
It looks like a Survivor game was coming out, and they're like, "We have a Dune movie coming out. Just make it Dune."
Put a Dune skin on it quickly.
Yeah, like I wish I was, because I love that world. But yeah, I just don't. Those kind of games just don't work for me. Like I tried Pal World, couldn't get into it. I've tried Ark, couldn't do it. Tried Grounded, couldn't do it. I don't like Minecraft.
Now, if it was Helldivers.
Yeah.
Dune Divers.
Dune Divers. Dude, Helldivers crossover with Dune. You land on Arrakis.
Oh my god.
You got to fight worms. Dog. I'm there.
Give it to me.
I would feel bad about spreading that democracy, but boy, would I spread it.
They should put in multiple planets too. Like Arrakis can be one, Caladan can be one.
Yeah.
Getty Prime. What's another planet they go to?
It's the
shoot,
Emperor.
I don't know.
Imperial planet. How do you not know this?
I don't know.
Nerd.
I'm not
status
just
revoked.
this Dune library.
You're not a nerd. You're a fake nerd.
Sure. Fake nerd.
Wow.
How dare you?
Who do you think you are?
All your opinions are invalid now.
Okay. We're
All of
we're
them.
running on an hour and a half here. So
Yeah, we
real
gotta
quick,
hustle.
What'd you guys do this week?
We got to hustle. Did we all watch Shogun?
No.
Okay, so Luke's watched the first two. I've watched the first one. Yeah, I'm in. This is awesome.
Yeah.
This couldn't be happening at a better time right now. So good. This weekend overall was like one of the best media weekends I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you play the movie of the year, the show of the year, and the game of the year?
I don't want to bury the lead, but very possibly. So yeah, I'll just jump to that. Been playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Boys, it's incredible, man. It's so good. Everything they've done, like remake was a bold thing, right, to do. Honestly, after playing Rebirth, it was so safe. Rebirth is crazy, man. Like, this game is nuts. I'm 9 hours in, and I am still in the first area. I've done, like, one main mission, because I just keep finding things and side missions to do.
Uh-oh, it's another game you're never going to finish.
No, I'll finish it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Brett.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Another game you'll never
at
start.
I won't even start it.
At a certain point, the story will have me so entranced that I have to finish it. Like, this is one of those kind of games. But man, I want to go back to very quickly. Remake was so cool because it was kind of this reimagining of a classic game. In the end, there's the line of like, you know, up to this point, everything's been written, but if you do this thing, it's no longer written, right? Like, and so you find out that these remakes and Rebirth, it's a sequel to the original game. And I just think that's such a cool sandbox to play in from a storytelling perspective. because like there's so many things you just don't expect. It's so cool. I just am so impressed by this game. Its music is incredible. It's cozy at times. The action is fun. The characters are likable. So good. Just really enjoying every moment I spend with it. So that's what I did this weekend.
Nice.
That and potty train my 2-year-old.
Oh. I didn't do much. I worked on my movie.
Released a poster.
Trying to finish that up. Yeah, we released the poster. So head over to, Turkey Red Studios on social or my socials at Brightson, and you can stay up to date with all of the things we're sharing over there.
Release date?
No release date.
Oh.
No release date yet.
Producers are still working on that.
Yeah.
And your producers might not know what they're doing.
Definitely not.
And they kind of stink.
He might not know. Oh, shoot.
Oh, I mean, they have great
hair.
Dune book knowledge. Nope, that's not true either.
But yeah. And then I went and saw Dune. I went and saw The Iron Giant.
You did
back
go?
in theaters with my daughter. I took Claire.
Did she cry?
Oh no, she was very concerned because Daddy was crying quite a bit.
Oh man.
So
How was the audience with that? Because it was a kid showing.
it was a kid showing. There were some kids up in front who were a little antsy.
You didn't notice it because you're hiding behind your own hands and tears.
Yeah, yeah. You kind of get, what you're getting.
Vin
They
Diesel.
were $2 tickets. It's
Vin
not like
Diesel's
I
best
was-
movie? Question mark.
Yeah, absolutely.
I couldn't think of another movie. Pitch Black? No. The Last Witch Hunter? No.
Definitely that one.
Definitely, but
The
yeah.
Fast and
So
Furious
I didn't
slander.
get around to doing too much else. But I watched the new episode of Halo. It sucked.
We're back, baby!
Really disappointing. Really disappointing to go from Fall of Reach to
Business meetings?
whatever this was.
As
No,
business-
Was it
man.
back to Master Cheeks?
no Master Cheeks, but they still.
What
don't-
about Mrs. Master
We went to. She's back for sure. Alive.
Who
Don't
is?
know how.
Miss Master Cheeks.
Oh,
Oh,
weird,
no,
weird
Mrs.
lady.
Covenant
Covenant
Cheeks.
Lady.
Covenant
Covenant
Cheeks.
Covenant
Got
Cheeks. Yeah, no, she's just back.
it.
Just back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, they cloned her. Oh, this dang Covenant. I watched Shogun, and you watched the first episode.
I did. Yeah.
So it's just, it kind of annoys me a little bit, but it's getting like comparisons to Game of Thrones. Like, this is the next Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is only going to be one season.
It's a mini series or a limited run. Or
yeah,
whatever.
so
Limited series.
let's chill. This ain't going to be the next thing. For
I
the
do
next
think
10 years.
those comparisons are natural though.
I thought it was interesting. I saw somebody say this isn't the next Game of Thrones. It's more relatable to the next Succession. Which I thought was interesting. But where it is comparable is it's just an absolute gorgeously produced show.
Yeah.
Every shot looks amazing. All the night shots look great. All the day shots look great. The sets are gorgeous.
They're outside.
The acting is yeah. The acting is awesome. But then yeah, they're outside. There's actual sets. And like just going straight from Avatar's Netflix reboot into this like gave me culture shock. Because I was just like, oh yeah, they actually do make real stuff.
Yeah.
And then I watched Dune the next day. And it's just like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome.
Yeah, between Shogun,
Actually, that might be more comparable. I might compare it to Dune more than
Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
it's a political drama.
Yeah, and it makes me. Can I steal Ghost of Tsushima back from you, Brett? I think you still have it.
Absolutely.
I really want to play that again.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's a fantastic show. I watched the Japanese version.
Oh, you did end up doing it? Or no, sorry, you said you were going to watch the dubbed American afterwards.
I do want to try and watch the dub.
I watched the
version.
Japanese version as well.
Yeah. You can watch this in Japanese in English or English in English.
Yeah.
I was gonna try and watch the English version just to see like how it came across, but I just didn't have time because I was doing other things. But man, just watching like it come across in the Japanese is so powerful.
It is. It is. It hits hard.
Yeah.
I love Baroque's comment here. I can't wait for Hiroyuki Sanada to yell a moving battle speech at me in Japanese.
Oh, dude,
I'm so fired
awesome.
up. Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
But yeah, this show is incredible. We are really in for one of the best shows ever, possibly.
It feels like
chance.
it feels like it.
Definitely a best show of the year.
Yeah.
It will be in contention for that.
Definitely, easily.
Which is crazy because last year we had Blue Eye Samurai,
Right.
and then this year it's just live action samurai.
Yeah. Yeah. No, dude, and it is like for being an FX show, it is very gory and violent. And there's
dude, they show the dude like being
boiled alive. Yeah.
Dude, it was horrible.
He's boiled alive and like knocks himself out on the side of the
Yeah.
container because he's just tired of not dying.
I do kind of like how they're not shying away from something kind of the Northman did, where it's like a lot of times where we're watching a movie about a different culture, we kind of put it on this pedestal and be like, wow, it's so cool. Where it's like, no, they did some horrible stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All
like
of them.
with like in the Northman, they're just like, oh, we're gonna sacrifice this girl and cut this horse in half because culture and the gods demand it. It's like what? Or it's like in the show, the guy's just like, I like watching people die. I'm just gonna boil this dude alive.
Yeah, he likes to. He's. I think he says like he likes to see their face right before they die or something like that.
And it's just like, oh wow. It's like we're not shying away from the dirty parts.
Yeah.
Of history.
Yeah, and like I think it's cool too. You have 3 different kind of quote unquote factions here.
Low-key, favorite part of the show, mainly because it's a little personal, is the 2 Christian factions.
Yeah. They're really cool.
So it takes place in 1600, and I've never seen this depicted in a show that wasn't just, honestly, like a Christian adaptation, where it's like, we're talking Reformation. No. This is showing you the Catholics and the Protestants and what all they became hate each other.
Yeah.
And the Reformation like had a lot of bloodiness to it, and it got pretty messed up.
Mm-hmm. And again, they're not shying away from that.
They're not shying away from it. And I was just like, wow, I've never actually seen this before.
Yeah.
And like even when the main white guy in the show, he's like, oh, I don't serve your Catholic God. It's just like, this is really cool to see. I was not expecting a Reformation
storyline.
In
Me
the
either. Yeah.
Shogun show.
I wasn't either, and like, because it opens with that text, and it's like talking about the trade lines and all that stuff, and I was like, oh snap.
Yeah, and like
this
how
is way bigger than I thought.
Like there was a point with Catholicism where they're like, oh yeah, we love money a lot.
Yeah.
We can make a lot of money off this god guy.
Because the Portuguese or whatever, right?
Yeah.
They find Japan first, and
they just claimed it.
Yep, dude, it's crazy.
Yeah,
crazy. So good though.
But yeah, it's when are the episodes released?
Tuesdays. So like 2
a.m. Tuesday night.
2 a.m. Tuesday. So you'll be able to watch it when you get home tomorrow.
I work from home tomorrow.
You'll be able to watch it tomorrow morning when you wake up.
I'll watch it after work.
Yeah.
I should probably not watch that when I work. I'll need to pay attention to my actual job. Ooh. If you work with me and you listen to this, ignore that. It's okay, none of them listen.
What else did you do?
I beat Gotham Knights.
Oh, nice.
It was a really good game.
Good.
I really enjoyed the storyline. There's a lot of good character work in between the Bat family. I already uninstalled it though.
Oh yeah.
I beat it. I was like, we're done.
Yeah, it's not one that you're gonna like dive in and spend a ton of time on. But
I know it's like you want to do stuff for New Game Plus and continue leveling and unlocking and stuff, but the fact that like I didn't unlock all the cool costumes, it's like, okay.
Yeah, no.
It's like I beat the game. Now I have them, but I don't care because
Right. The knighthood costumes and stuff. Yeah. I'm glad you played it though. I do think it's a fun game. I think the story's cool and again it's you said it. It's the in between that really makes that game work for me.
yeah, all the stuff with the Bat family is great, and
Yeah.
like the storyline with Barbara and her dad, Jim Gordon is dead in the game. And I think it's actually a really powerful moment because she has a photographic memory and she's talking about how she can't remember her dad's face. She's basing every memory of him off the statue built in the city, and it's like really messing with her. It's a great moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you do all the moments like after you beat it where you can take each Bat family member and go hit their like Batman memory? Did you watch all those?
No,
They're
is
pretty
that
good.
like I went and looked at a picture on the wall, and it was like Bruce trying to record his. If you're watching this on video, and they're all like behind him going,
Yeah.
like, come on, man, dinner's ready. What are you doing?
I love the moments between like Alfred and the the kid bats too. Like I think those are always good. But yeah, no, there's some pretty cool.
Dude,
Like when Jason kind of it's the knighthood moment for every character.
yeah.
So like
when they're doing their little dance game,
yeah,
and he like starts freaking out. That was good.
yeah. There's a lot of nice little moments in that game. I'm glad you played it.
Yeah. You'd hate it because it's single player.
Absolutely.
But maybe you'd love it because it's multiplayer.
Oh, kind of.
Even Dana made a joke about you not playing single player games the other day.
It's
I can't remember what game we
finally
were
catching
talking
on.
about, but
Wow.
I said something and she was like, "Oh no, it's about Final Fantasy." She's like, "Oh, so Brett would never play it," and I was like, "Yeah, probably."
Awesome.
Oh, is it time for me just to like sell my Xbox and just put up the gaming hat forever?
No, just play some games when
I don't
you're
have time,
bored.
man. I don't have time.
You don't need to play for 8 hours straight. Just hop on and
Easton-
do some shenanigans.
Easton has some fanbox questions.
Oh, okay, real quick.
Very quickly.
Yep.
The first question, if you were a Fremen, would you have followed Paul Atreides to paradise? I don't know. I don't know how
Probably.
it would have been raised, but I would assume I probably would have. And then what piece of Dune movie technology would you want the most?
Trying to think of the technology.
Either the shield.
The shield suits are cool.
Shield suits are super cool. Or just a personal orthocopter. Is that what they're called?
Ornithopter.
Ornithopter.
That would be pretty cool.
The ornithopters are pretty dope. I think,
Still suit.
yeah, like the still suits.
I just want to wear it. I don't need.
It's so cool.
Just be the coolest cosplay ever. What are you gonna go to Comic-Con or Halloween? I'm just gonna wear my still suit. Can be at work and never get thirsty.
I'll go with the shield. I think the shield is cool. I just think it looks visually awesome. And like I would want people to just punch me in the face while I wear it.
You
just
could
so
be
they
a vigilante
That's
because
true.
they'd shoot you and it just go. Boom.
Do
It'd
you
be
want-
like
Do you want something that's a little too real?
What?
It feels like the best thing.
You want your own-
We live in America.
you want your own guild navigator.
Kind
Don't
of
you?
feels like the best thing to have.
That's true. Yeah.
I just too real maybe, but
Yeah.
I'll just get a still suit and go
Feels
live out in
useful.
the desert.
There you go. You can survive.
Be a little hermit.
Yeah, I would want the shield.
Still suit or my own personal guild navigator ship.
oh,
The whole thing.
not just the navigator, just sit in your room.
Well, I think he comes with the ship, right?
Oh, are they built in?
One of the crew, one of the ship, one of the crew, one of the ship. Ooh, can I just have my technology just be spice?
Just a jar of spice, just
Just-
to like.
Just sniff it and just get a quick vision real quick. Be like,
take a hit.
the lottery numbers are.
JT wants a worm. Oh man.
I just want the juice of the
You're
worm.
gonna have to dig a hole in your backyard or somewhere to keep it, because you can't keep it in the bathtub. It will die.
The juice of the worm.
It will die. I guess you could put sand in your bathtub and then it would be fine.
What about just a baby worm?
It still needs
It'll
sand,
grow
I think.
eventually. Well, I guess it won't. If you...
Maybe it's like an alligator and it only grows according to the container.
Yeah.
it's
Oh
in.
yeah. You only get as big as the.
Not technically technology, but good pick. Very true. What?
I just want the pet kangaroo rat. Kangaroo mouse.
That's
My own little baby Muad'Dib.
not.
I know it's not technology, but oh dude, it's so cute. I think even when we were watching it, it popped up and I just went, oh.
Yeah. I can vouch for that. That happened. That
Love
really
it.
happened.
Cool.
All right. Well, hey, thank you all for hanging out with us for a little bit of an extra long episode. Man, 2 hours. But
Super Dune episode.
One of the biggest movies of the year, so we had to take our time with it.
We were doing a big episode.
Yeah, it's true. So good. Okay. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I won't be back next week, but Luke and Tyler will be here.
We'll have a special guest too.
We might be here.
Look, this is the pitch. This is the pitch. Come see how much of a dumpster fire this week is.
We have a guest coming. My buddy Brandon. He'll be joining us. So
Talk about the Oscars, right?
to talk about Oscars. That's right.
Yeah.
So
Talk about people reacting to a bunch of movies that we didn't see.
Yeah.
I guess Oppenheimer's probably going to win all of them now. So
I did see that one.
You can discuss if that was justified or not. But until then, have a great week, everyone. See you later.
Bye.
good.